Restoration is brought to you by
Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Yeah, it's extra long sanitary pad for extra comfort.
We got gas protection.
Tasty Tom new seasoning powder. Flavor and taste.
Hello, you're welcome to Restoration with Stacy, and I'm excited to come your way this time because you know what? Sometimes we begin things and we take them for granted, but we do not know that God in his own wisdom has got plans for everything he puts on our heart. So if you're here today, it means you're here to learn. It's because God wants you to hear the story so it can move you to your next level. I'd like to say a very big thank you to our sponsors, Malta Guinness. Yes, if you're out there and you have not yet refreshed yourself this month, this week, today, please, this is the time for you to do that because Malta Guinness is rich in B vitamins, and that means that it keeps you nourished throughout the day. Good thing is you don't have a lot of sugar in there. Now we're all trying to be healthy. So if you are drinking anything, if you're eating anything, you should also think about your well-being because we all want to live long. And the most important thing about Malta Guinness is it's proudly made in Ghana. I like to say it's proudly made in Achimota because if you go there, the factory is there. You can actually have the chance to see how it is manufactured, and it is actually helping Ghana become a better place by giving our youth and the people of Ghana a lot of work to do. So go out there and grab yourself Malta Guinness because with Malta Guinness, we move. And for the foodians like me, those of us who love food, those of us who love to cook, there are people who love food, but they don't like to cook. There are people who like to cook and love food. I'm in the second category. If you're like that, you should clap for yourself because Tasty Tom is bringing some exciting news. And that is the Tasty Tom Enriched Tomato Paste Jewusika promotion. Yes, I said Jewusika. Anytime you buy your 2.2 kg tin of Tasty Tom Enriched Tomato Paste, all you have to do is check under the lid and you could win between 5,000 to 10,000 Ghana cedis. This is not cha-cha. It's not cha-cha. You just do that and grab yourself your cash. If you check and you have won yourself any amount, all you have to go is to go to the nearest Tasty Tom distributor with your lid and grab your cash. If you don't have any around you, all you can do is call this number 055-6638-794. 055-6638-794. O friend number na kwanya ye befa so won sa beka wosika no ye no bedi nkita ho na won sa aka wosika. Wote ho ye de mepacho ko na koto Tasty Tom na wo to no ma wonuane nuro kama na yesen ache wosika. And I would say that if you buy it, don't forget our seasoning. Yes, eduane foni die ya. There ya nswa ye eduane ede. Now the seasoning kakra bi som for taste kakra. Na just a seasoning I say eduane. So please don't risk it. Every time, make sure that you have your Tasty Tom seasoning with you in your house, and you will thank me later. A very big thank you to Hisense, everyday prizes for everyday people, Yas washing powder and Yas sanitary pad, Hooch Corn and Choco Flakes, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Teflon Sweets, and of course to my beauty and style team, ABS Lux Line located on the Odoko Highway for my outfit, Tinaj Beauty for my makeup, Stars Hair for styling my hair, and this wig I'm wearing today is from Hair Duties located at Osu near Photo Club. We'll be right back after this break.
Bano Hisense air conditioner. You will more who do be brave. The ultimate see ho. And the other border winina. Hisense air condition kwa. And our 4-in-1 filter system. And also na buame sim from a fin ho kwine. The other border you 1.5, 2.0 and a 2.5. The other see on also you 4.5 and a 2.5. Air condition be anywhere chilly chain Hisense air condition. Aye papa. And training am kania. Eche na buono so dafong. Yeah, the gold plated fence and the copper pipes, papa pie dimu, and the air conditions. Enye dede, inti baby abe soni biya, unye wasumdwe ene wahoto. Hisense nkwa, ene ma 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Se air conditioner open kwa dia, Hise, Enuane Hisense. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra yan kwani stew dodo a ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. Steak and little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix inti. Me handwriting and sada. Then na ne dene bia sa net here. Inti customers ba never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Tasty Tom is giving out cash in the Tasty Tom Jewellery promo. Just check under the lid. When you buy a big can of Tasty Tom tomato mix, you can win from 5 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis cash with over 70,000 cash prizes available. Present your winning lead at any of our distributors' points nationwide to redeem your cash instantly through mobile money or call toll-free line 055 66 38 794 for assistance.
Promo lasts from now to March 2025. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
Remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month? Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort, I got. Yes, confidence, I got. Yes.
The new Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month? Yes.
I got. Yes, confidence, I got.
Yes.
We got yes protection, I got.
Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Every child is so unique,
You like no other.
outstanding in every way.
It's me like no other.
So anytime you walk and play,
You like no other.
you are special like Indomie.
It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint. You like no other. Indomie. It's you like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie. Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This advert is FDA approved.
Every child is so unique,
You like no other.
outstanding in every way.
It's me like no other.
So anytime you walk and play,
You like no other.
you are special like Indomie.
It's me like no other.
Did you know that every child on the planet has their own unique fingerprint like no other?
You like no other. I can play the drums. I'm talented. It's me like no other. I can sing. I can dance. You like no other.
As well as their own unique talents and abilities.
I can cook. I can paint. You like no other. Indomie. It's you like no other.
So every day, in whatever you do, remember you are special in your own way, like no other.
Thank you, Mom, for letting me know I'm special and for making me my special Indomie. Thank you, Mommy.
Introducing Indomie beef flavor. Buy now.
This advert is FDA approved.
Yes, baby.
Honey, men wash your way. Men to take away our back.
He's eating out again. Nancy, me trying tasting kuyi.
Tasty Tom.
Tasty Tom. Add the new seasoning powders about chicken, stew, jollof, shrimp, beef. The way it enhances the natural aroma. Tasty Tom, dear. I trust them. And there is no staining of fish, meat, or chicken. Wait, me could just sharp. Me need also.
Tasty Tom seasoning powder. Ooh.
New aroma.
New this.
New taste from Tasty Tom new seasoning powder.
Maybe I need a
Maybe I'm not for anyway. Tasty Tom new seasoning powder. flavor and it taste. This advert is FDA approved.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra yan kwani stew dodoa ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. Steak a little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix into. Me handwriting and sada. Into customers bar never.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Tasty Tom is giving out cash in the Tasty Tom Juiceika promo. Just check under the lid. When you buy a big can of Tasty Tom tomato mix, you can win from 5 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis cash with over 70,000 cash prizes available. Present your winning lead at any of our distributors' points nationwide to redeem your cash instantly through mobile money or call toll-free line 055 66 38794 for assistance.
Promo lasts from now to March 2025. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
Restoration. As a people, we mostly brood over things that we do not have to concern ourselves with. We pray and we ask for miracles, and when the miracles come staring at us, because they are not our expectations, we mostly feel God has not answered our prayers, and we let those miracles just slide by. But it is time we learn that miracles don't always come in big packages. Sometimes they come as tiny as a dynamite, but when they explode, everybody gets to hear about them. And my guest today is one of such people who did not allow his miracle slide by. He is CEO of my favorite jewelry place in Accra. And I know very soon he's taking over the world. Yes, he's the only person I can call like, Charlie, I need this. This is my budget. Make it happen. And he makes it happen. Please, let's welcome my guest, Abel Alangery, CEO of Alangery Jewellery.
Thanks so much, Stacey.
Did I have you here?
You know.
And I told them, listen, I know women, we love jewelry, right? Sometimes when you get to the shop and you go through, you go like, hey, this is not my budget. Sometimes you just have to be bold to let him know your budget, and he would work with your budget. There are times that I want jewelry for kids. Definitely, you can buy jewelry you're going to buy for an adult for a kid. If you tell him, he gives you something to suit your budget. So for the jewelry lovers, stop worrying about how much 1 gram is costing and all of that. He doesn't do that. Just give him a budget and he will do something unique. And it's always special. His pieces are always like amazing. And he makes sure that he surprises me every birthday. So I love you, Abel. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Stacey. Thanks so much for this timely moment. Thanks so much. God bless you.
God bless you to my love. Let's talk about how it started. Because the last time we're just having a little conversation, you're like, you don't know my story. Yeah. I want to know your story. Yeah. How did it start?
It all started with passion to sell. You know, I had a background which was founded on business.
Okay.
Looking at where I come from, my mother's side, to be precise, most of my aunties were petty traders.
Okay.
You know, my dad happens to be a Northerner from Upper East region,
okay,
and my mom a Southerner from Ghana, like Greater Accra.
What a combination. So your father traveled all the way,
you know,
to Accra.
Yes.
Wow.
So back in the day, I was this guy in Osu that was known to sell stuffs. And my dream or how selling started was with a friend who was working in one of the top shops in Osu.
Okay.
And he used to, you know, get stuffs and bring it to me. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of how he got them, but every now and then he brings deodorants, he brings perfumes, he brings toothbrush. And I was then in Osu Presec. I was in senior high then.
In senior high school?
Yeah.
You started
selling
as little as deodorants?
Yes, deodorants, toothbrush, shear spray, and all, everything they brought it to me to sell it. I was known on the street as someone that if you have something you want to sell, just look for flavor, you will sell it. That was my name then. So even in school, I remember in senior high school, most of my mates were owing me because I was selling to them and all that. But it got to a stage after senior high that as I was waiting for my results, I applied to Frankie's rooms and hotels. Okay. So I started working there. In Osu, still Osu. So I started working in Frankie's and I started getting new clients because I was selling iPods. Anything you brought to me, I was selling literally anything, to a point where I was even selling abortive pills.
You're kidding.
Because most of my friends, when they get their girlfriends pregnant they want to, get something quick to abort it, they go to the pharmacy, they don't sell it to them. And this, I know where I go, I get it. It's rather unfortunate, but that was what I was doing. So
and for me, it's the honesty with which you're telling your story.
Yeah. So in Frankie's, what happened was I was selling AirPods, I was selling everything they brought to me till at a point, I remember that day, I will never forget that day. I met a lady at Data Bank, I think, and she invited me to church, which was Action Chapel. Okay. So when she invited me, I went to church and I loved it there. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why I had to make Action Chapel my place or my place of worship at that time, around 2010, 2009, was the fact that I saw one of my mentors who is late now, Honorable David Lamte. After church, I was on the car park and I saw a lot of cars. And I'm like, whoa, which church is this with so many cars? And lo and behold, I saw Honorable David Lamte. I was so astonished that I didn't even acknowledge his honorable status. I just said, David Lamte. And he said, Eba Yonu. And I said, wow, Honorable David Lamte comes to church here. I stay here. So I was in church. And one time I went to Akwaje to pray. I wasn't so much as spiritual as I am now in those days, but I remember I had a prayer schedule. So one day I went to the park to pray, which was Reverend Dagadu Park, Akwaje Park.
Yeah, and
Akwaje. And I remember the prayer I said specifically. I told God, it was like 3 minutes, 2 minutes. I told God that ACN is known to be a footballer. Tiger Woods is known to be a golfer. And I remember using Oprah Winfrey, is known to be someone that speaks ends through speaking. My prayer was simple, that God, I don't want to sell everything, I want to sell something. That was my prayer. Few days after that prayer, I went to see a friend, and his name is Leonard Amate. I went to see him and he had some new jewelries on. So I told Leonard, I told him that, where did you get this stuff? And he said, oh, I can take you there. And he took me to the place. We from Osu, we like to look good. Mm-hmm. So I got some few pieces. I think I got a chain because my fans were not as much as Leonard, So I got that necklace and I was enjoying it. So I went to work at Frankie's and people saw me and like, oh, Abel, Flavor, your chain is nice. And knowing that I can always go and get another one, I sold it to the person. Oh. So I bought another one.
So you did not go like, oh no, I'll get you one tomorrow. No. Instantly, you sold yours.
In Osu, I was known to be one of the guys that you can admire my shoe and I sell it to you if it's your size. Oh. I've done that severally.
And you walk home barefooted?
Yes. At times I'll take them home, give them what I have, and they go. And I'll go and buy another one. So when the first chain was bought, I didn't even see it as a business in the first place. I bought another one. And another person also saw it. Oh, Flavor, your chain, fine. Oh, it's nice. So I said, oh, I can sell it. I sold it. So that was when my attention was drawn to the fact that people are beginning to buy it off my neck. So this time around, let me buy 2 instead of 1. Oh. So I bought 2. I wore 1. I sold the 1. I took the 1 off my neck. I sold it. At a point, I have sold to almost everybody around me, including Julian Sai, one of my closest partners now in the business. Mm-hmm. So I sold to a few people. At a point, nobody was buying again. I remember sometimes I come to work, someone will say, I need some, I'll run, doing break, pick a bike, go and buy and sell. It got to a point, everybody around me has bought. So now I had to go outside. Yes. So that was when I started cold calls. When I'm off duty, I go to UT Bank, start with the receptionist. Mm-hmm. That was when I got to meet Loretta, Emilia, a lot of people. And they kept referring me to their friends, to their families. And at a point when I'm at work, they'll be calling me, someone needs a chain, someone needs a silver chain. I said, no, my time here is over. So I tendered in a resignation letter. And I remember my boss, Mr. Rames, he was feeling bad for me. It's like, Abel, why are you resigning? And I told him, I remember what I told him. I told him that, sir, I fear so much to lose this job that I want to lose it and see what happens. And he looked at me astonished. So my time to leave Frankie's came, thinking, honestly, when I was leaving Frankie's, I was thinking I'll be paid off, like maybe 2 months, 3 months, but it didn't happen. They gave me my salary. And we're on set, I don't want to mention it, but it wasn't much at all.
Write home about.
So when I got the money, my human instincts were telling me that, okay, buy a few chains with it and double up to start your life, because you were expecting more, but at least you have something. But I didn't do that. There was this pastor in our area who has had fellowship on a park, the same park I went to pray. So I went there to pray and I realized most of them were standing. So what I did was, after closing, I gave the pastor all my money, all the money they gave to me. All the
salary.
I gave everything to him and I told him, please buy Jinyami chairs for the people standing. I never went there again. And that was how I started. And to my surprise, that same week, a friend, his name is Sector, called me that they are looking for a motorbike to buy. I was the one that anything anybody needed, they came to me. So I connected to a mechanic. He connected me to one guy who sells motorbikes, and they bought a bike. We went and he bought it. And that day, the guy gave me 500 cedis, which was like 3 times the amount I used to earn. And I'm like, God, this is a miracle. So that was how I bought more stock and started selling, trusting God. And a day after the other, things started changing.
At that time, it wasn't gold.
No, I started with silver.
With silver.
I sold silver for a long time. Long time before I started even, I couldn't afford gold. I was coming from a family that even when you're doing something productive, there's nobody to support you. So it had to be you and God. The first time I got gold to sell, I had this DVD player, which was more like a laptop, but you slot in the DVD and you watch on the screen.
Yeah.
I had to take that as collateral before I was given a chain to go and market, which was gold, because I couldn't afford it.
You're kidding me.
On God. It's been a journey that has been very inspiring, but full of lessons and, more importantly, blessings.
Through it all, from what you're saying, you didn't have much at home.
No.
Was your mother not concerned that, hey, listen, Abel, I took you to school to learn, to make something of your life, and now you're on the streets selling everything you get your hands on. Maybe try to focus more on your academics and let's see where it takes you.
No, my mom, I don't remember my mom ever telling me that, because when I started seeing results, I was supporting her.
Great.
So my mom also, like I told you, she used to sell pineapples because my stepdad, Mr. Alangery Jewellery, I love him so much, was a pineapple farmer. Oh. So my mom in a way was also a trader. So they could tell that I'm just picking up. Yes, I was just picking up from my mother's side business. So I started selling, and at a point, there was this man that really inspired me, who I would do a lot of harm to myself if I don't mention. It was Mr. Alangery.
Oh,
when I started RLG. When I started selling, I heard of RLG. That was the time RLG was coming up in Usu. So a lot of my friends were working there, some were managers. So when I heard the story and I was told it was a Northerner, it comes from Upper East region. And I'm like, wow, most of the men I saw from my region were either selling kebab or fowls. So when I saw that, I read that it was from Upper East region and it was doing so well. Stacey, you won't believe it. I used to, after going around to sell, I used to come and sit at RLG when I see his car parked. And I'll wait till he goes before I go home.
You're okay.
Just to draw inspiration.
Not even talking to him?
No, I never spoke to him till date. I've never spoken to him. There was this, their main office was opposite Christian Council. Mm-hmm. And there was this tree there that they cut. So the stamp, I'll go and sit there. Once I see his car there, I know the CEO is around. So I'll sit down. At times I'll sit there for 2 hours. Into 10 o'clock, it closes very late. I'll wait till it comes down, everybody will be greeting. I'm like, God, this is what must happen one day. There's someone from my region. If he has made it in Accra, I can make it too. So I was drawing a lot of inspiration. I got his pictures. My friends will tell you, I had his pictures all over my room.
Wow.
All over my room.
We have to set up a meeting then.
You know, I'll be very glad that day, you know. So I drew a lot of inspiration from him, a lot. And most of my friends know it. Most of my friends.
Where was your dad through this time?
My dad was also around. My dad knew me as one that was always on the move. My dad knew me as someone that was always, because there were times that he would come home and you see a car tape in a room. Who is this car tape for? They know it's me. I'm trying to sell it. A laptop. He knows. I'm always on the move. You see, I realized that my dad is a very good man. He's filled with a lot of virtues. My dad taught me a lot of principles. But my dad made me understand that whatever he had, he could give it to me. But at that point, I know my dad was not standing well financially, so I didn't expect financial support from him. I took my life into my hands, like Jephthah said in Judges 12, chapter 3. I took it into my hands and decided to make something productive out of my life.
Do you have younger ones?
Yes, I have. Okay, with my dad, on my dad's side, I have a brother. And on my mom's side, I have a sister and 3 brothers.
Giving your all, I mean, anybody who resigns, you know you don't have a job.
Yeah.
So whatever money you're given, you have to protect that money and put it in good use. What pushed you to say, you know what, God, I'm using this as a seed to challenge you, to progress my life, to make my next step orderly? What pushed you?
I'll say the still small voice of the Holy Spirit. When I started going to Action, you know, Action Chapel is a place when you enter, whether you like prayer or not, you're going to pray.
Yeah.
So I used to pray a lot. There were times that they used to call my mom, is your son becoming a pastor? He will lock himself in a room and be praying from 3 to 6. Mm-hmm. I used to lock myself and pray. So when I got the money, I realized the field in which I was, jewelry. Jewelry is an industry that no matter the amount, is not enough. Because you think you have a stock of $500,000 and you meet someone with a watch that is $1 million. So that means someone's watch on his wrist, which is also a jewelry. It's more than even your inventory. So I was like, it has to be God. Mm-hmm. It has to be God. And that salary that I gave to the pastor to buy chairs, it didn't end there. I've done, as a matter of fact, even when things began picking up, the first substantial amount I made in business, I went to church one day, happy, so happy. During the service, I heard the still small voice telling me, go and put it on the altar. I'll never forget that day. I couldn't sleep that night. That day was a day we made.
Your first hit.
My first hit. I put it on the altar. I have done that many times. And anytime I do that, I remember one time I went to Global Revival to pray one Friday. I got to a point where I was so much into the things of God that when Action is not having a service, I look for any church to enter. Mm-hmm. So one day I went to Global Revival. I was angry for God. That is the right word. I was angry for God. And I went to Global Revival. And as we were praying, a guy came to worship that day. The guy couldn't see. I remember that day, the guy couldn't see. The guy was worshiping God. And I stood there, I'm like, this guy doesn't have eyes. And look at how he's worshiping God. That day, Madam Stacy, everything I had, I was putting it on the altar. I'll just go take the first one, drop it. Till I came back, I realized I wasn't having anything again. So I took my Bible to write something in the Bible, and I saw a lot of money, some money on the floor. And I'm like, this money is not mine. So I tapped the lady sitting by me if
it was hers.
It was hers. She said no. I spoke to the lady behind me. She also said no. And the money I saw, I don't know if I put it in the Bible. I can't recollect.
And maybe dropped.
Yes. But the money was more than what's already placed on the altar. So I took it. I'm like, is God restoring what I gave still in the church? So I took the money. I said, okay, if they say it's not theirs, then it's mine. But I was there, the guy moved me again. And I said, let me sacrifice that one too. And I ran and I put the money on the altar, came back. And I heard a voice I'll never forget. He said, from today, every tower in Accra, you have a client there. That was how it started. From nowhere, I started meeting people. It was so serious that there were times that I'll see someone wearing a jewelry and I'll say, God, I wish this person is my client. Look at how he's wearing a jewelry. Look at how he's wearing. I remember one guy like that, I saw him. And I said to myself that, God, I wish I had this guy as a customer. And I went to Intercontinental Bank. It wasn't Access Bank then. To sell there. And the guy saw me. He's called Jonathan. He works with Stanbic Bank now. He said, you sell these things. I have a friend that loves it. I'll take you to him. Wait for me. And he took me to his area. And you won't believe it. It was the guy. And it's not only the first time. It has happened severally. It has happened even when it comes to Kojo Jones. I remember the first time I met Kojo Jones was on TV. That the music awards. And I said, which guy is this guy? He's handsome. He has swag. And he's wearing a lot of jewelry. So I liked him from the TV. And I met this guy that was into photography. He's called David. And one day I went to his house and he was coming to drop me around Action. And he said he's going to see Kojo Jones. I said, bro, I need to see this guy. I need to see this guy. But he didn't take me. He told me, you can't just take me to him. I said, oh, bro, you can't take me to him. He said, yeah. I said, no problem. You won't believe it that I was in the shop one day. Kojo Jones came into the shop. And later on, it was just God. Later on, I went to his office to meet him. On my way out, I met the guy. He said, what are you doing here? I said, I came to see Mr. Kojo Jones. He said, you don't mean it. How did you meet him? I said, it's God.
You don't know God.
I didn't tell him. And I just moved. So it is something that has happened. It has happened severally. There are people, I just see them, I'm like, oh, I wish, even where our shop is now, well, how we got it, it was out of such a visitation. I remember one time I was driving past East Legon and I saw the shop. And you know, there was another jewelry shop before we entered that place.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And I saw the jewelry shop and I parked and I checked them online. And they didn't have much followers. And I said, who is having a jewelry shop here on the principal street of East Legon and doesn't have much followers? And I've not even
Lagos Avenue.
Yes, and I've never heard of his or her name. So I was dumbfounded. I was confused and thinking about who it was. The Saturday after that time that I said that, a friend of mine, Richard Osei Slay, was having his naming ceremony. And he said I should come. When I went, his wife told me, oh, I have a sister that is into jewelry. I said, oh, I'd like to meet him. I'd like to meet him. When you mentioned the name, I said, no, that name rings a bell. It was the shop that I just spoke about. So I called her. She said, oh, she wants to focus on real estate. So if I don't mind, I can take over the shop.
Just like that?
Yes. I got the shop. She helped me. I paid for stock. I paid for everything there. It was a miracle. I even told the Archbishop one time, my spiritual father, I told him, he didn't believe it. He was shocked. Not that he didn't believe it, he was shocked. He said, wow.
Some miracles are just swift.
I'm telling you, God has really helped me, Stacey. Looking at where I come from, God has really helped me because it took me through process. And I have lost everything before because I trusted the wrong people. But in that period of my life, He opened me to many opportunities, which today I am grateful I went through those challenges. I'm very grateful.
We'll take a break. When we come back, I want to know about that moment.
Okay.
All right. So we'll be right back after this break.
Bano high sense air conditioner. Ye wo mo ahodo bebre. De otimidi si ho. Ene de odi boda ho nyina. High sense air condition ko a. Ene wo 4-in-1 filter system. And also na bua me see from a fin ho kwan. De de boda ho. Ye wo 1.5, 2.0 and a 2.5. The edisi ono so you were 4.5 and a 2.5. Air condition be anywhere chilly chain high sense air condition. Aye papa. And train nam kania. Eche na buono so dafong. Ye the gold plated fence and the copper pipes papa pie dimu and the air conditions. Enye dede, inti baby abe soni biya, unya wasumdwe ene wa hoto. High sense nkwa, ene ma 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Se air conditioner open kwa dia, kai say, enua ne high sense. High sense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Tasty Tom tomato mix. Ofa kakra. Na ye bebre. Fa kakra yan kwani stew dodo a ope.
Tasty Tom dear, it will surely give you value for money. Steak a little is enough to get our desired quantity of stew and soup, and it doesn't color your meat or chicken.
Tasty Tom tomato mix inti. Me handwriting and sada. Senane dene dia sa neti. Inti customers ba neba.
I don't compromise on the quality of my food. Use Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix. This advert is FDA approved.
Tasty Tom is giving out cash in the Tasty Tom Jewellery promo. Just check under the lid. When you buy a big can of Tasty Tom tomato mix, you can win from 5 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis cash with over 70,000 cash prizes available. Present your winning lead at any of our distributors' points nationwide to redeem your cash instantly through mobile money or call toll-free line 055 66 38794 for assistance.
Promo lasts from now to March 2025. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
Remember the days I just couldn't go to the gym because it was that time of the month. Yas extra long sanitary pad took the worry away. Easy.
Yes, comfort, I got. Yes, confidence, I got. Yes.
The new Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad is the joy of every woman. It is extra absorbent and fits perfect. Don't allow anything to hold you back when it's that time.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes.
Feel confident, stay fresh.
Hi. Is it supposed to be that time of the month?
Yes.
I got. Yes, confidence, I got.
Yes.
We got yes protection, I got.
Yas Extra Long Sanitary Pad for extra comfort.
We got yes protection.
Hey, my best customers in here. Yes, baby.
Honey, men wash you away. Men to take away back.
He's eating out again. Nancy, me trying tasting kuyi. Nya kra. Mama mau new fella.
Tasty Tom seasoning powder.
Tasty Tom. Add the new seasoning powders about chicken, stew, jollof, shrimp, beef. Udi aduane anete. A more natural aroma. She shaman kasa. The way it enhances the natural aroma. It no be small. So what's the new seasoning powder if it Tasty Tom there? I trust them. And there is no staining of fish, meat, or chicken. Delicious meals all the time. Why do you go to just me need those.
Tasty Tom seasoning powder.
New aroma.
New taste.
This is a new taste from Tasty Tom new seasoning powder.
But then again, Jeff.
Maybe not for anyway. Tasty Tom new seasoning powder. Flavor and taste. This advert is FDA approved.
Tasty Tom is giving out cash in the Tasty Tom Jewellery promo. Just check under the lid. When you buy a big can of Tasty Tom tomato mix, you can win from 5 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis cash with over 70,000 cash prizes available. Present your winning lead at any of our distributors' points nationwide to redeem your cash instantly through mobile money or call toll-free line 055 66 38794 for assistance.
Promo lasts from now to March 2025. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back. I hope you are refreshing yourself wherever you are with Malta Guinness. Kindly remember, Malta Guinness is rich in B vitamins. That means you're nourished throughout the day, and it's not saturated with sugar. So your health is intact, and it is proudly made in Ghana. So wherever you are, make sure that you and your family and your friends are making a move on Malta Guinness, because with Malta Guinness, we move. Yes, and I'm still excited about what my partners are doing. Yes, I'm talking about Tasty Tom and Rich Tomato Mix. My name is Diane Echeniska. Aduane a wawo no edi so. Tasty Tom is saying, cook a good meal. Let the aroma fill the home, and they will still give you between 5,000 to 10,000 Ghana cedis with the Jewusika promo. All you have to do is to get a 2.2 kg tin. And if you look under the lid, whatever amount is written there, it's yours. All you have to do is take the lid to any Tasty Tom distributor or call 055-6638-794, 055-6638-794, and you can redeem your cash. So make sure that you're not just cooking a sumptuous meal, but you are also cooking for your cash. Yes, and everybody is invited to try this. So if you're not having Tasty Tom at home, please, this is the time for you to make a switch, because whatever you're using, no one is giving you a dime. But with Tasty Tom, we are giving you the Jewusika promo. But kindly remember, terms and conditions apply. And that is not all. If you get your Tasty Tom, ensure that you have your Tasty Tom seasoning. Yes, seasoning pa. A natural. Artificial elements bia enka ho. Wodi ye waduane a emane ye de. Emane ye hwam. Aduane ede na ede. Nti wo do seasoning ka ho a eche se emane spark keke. Nti mesrɛ mo. Moko ejom se mokoto seasoning. It should be Tasty Tom seasoning. Nti ye guso Ebwa, senya ye mabu or more Ghana, ebenya ejmaye. So go out there and grab your Tasty Tom enriched tomato mix or your Tasty Tom seasoning. So we're back in the studio, and I'm sure most of you young ones are like, where the entire see. It happens. If you believe in God, if you trust God, He will always make a way. It doesn't just happen in movies. This is a real life story. And for those of you who think that when you're on the right path, everything is supposed to be smooth, before the break, you heard Abel say, when things were actually in motion, he trusted the wrong people and life hit him. So it tells you that the road can get slippery sometimes, but it's not about the number of times you fall. It's about the number of times you wake up. So when did the road become slippery?
It became slippery when, at a point, the company started winning the hearts of top officials. I mean, at a point, we were making jewelry for, I remember, Elga Boedi, Madame Elga Boedi, Madame Floxy, she was, I think, in charge. No, Mary Kessie, she was in charge of one of the top departments at UT Bank. They were giving me big orders. So there was this team I was working with that they betrayed my trust. We were working on some major order, which was supposed to be 18 carats. But when we finished, and I was gone, I called Madame Agnes that I'm coming to deliver. She was waiting for me so much. She was so happy because she has spent a lot on this particular order. But when I looked at the order, it hit my spirit that I should check it. So I decided to check it. I don't want to mention the guy's name who did that, because now he calls me every now and then to apologize, and I can see he's standing on a new leaf. So I said, bring it, I want to check it. He said, oh, why are you checking? Always, we've been in business, I've been working for you. I said, hey,
it's not about you.
It's not about, let me check it. When I checked it, it wasn't 18 carats. It was 9 carats. Gosh. That means they divided the gold into two, and they took their portion and they used the half. And we were working together. That day that was when my pain started. That was a time of my life that it was like David in the cave of Adullam. That was that time of my life that I was praying and crying. And truth be told, if he had sent it to her, she would never know. But my integrity and I can't sleep knowing I have done that to a client. Because the reason why we were able to make match within the shortest time was through referrals. We always amazed our clients, so they always spoke about us to others. So I wanted to arrest him. But this was someone who even named one of his kids after me.
After you.
Because he told me ever since he met me, his life changed. And it's true. I knew where I met him from. He has a son called Abel. And around up here, I didn't even have a child. So, you know, I love the guy. So I didn't want to arrest him. I just told him, you know what, go. So at that
Where
period,
were you going to get your extra?
I had
carats?
people that had deposited for their orders. I took all their monies and bought new gold.
So what did you tell the woman?
I called the woman and told the woman that, oh, mommy, please, it seems we have a little issue here. Please, I know you are expecting me, but please give me 1 week and I'll deliver. I don't like what you did. It is not carrying her signature, you know.
Yeah.
I told her something nice and she was patient, thank God. Because I've met clients that will say, no, bring me my money.
It's ready.
Yes.
It's either you're bringing it or you're bringing my money.
Yes, but thanks to God, she never said that. She said, oh, what can say Mati? So I picked that and I alloyed it and got raw gold and bought enough raw gold. I used everything I had. Everything. Every money I had. I had mutual funds at Data Bank. I took it. I had some flip accounts at Fidelity around that period. I closed everything and bought gold and found another guy, Pani, and we started working on it. And around that period, I used to cry and be praying, but I never said anything against him. But I knew the way he hurts me, things won't go well with him. I knew it. But I didn't take time to say anything again. No. Because if I said it, it would have complicated issues. Because even now, he struggles a lot. And he still, you know, is someone that still calls me. And I love him. Because, like Joseph said, you meant it for evil, but God turned it for good. Through that betrayal, I met new clients. That was when we even started selling watches. That was when our business broke, because around that period I was looking for other things to make money so that I can support the business. And it's one of the reasons why we are no longer Alangery Jewellery. We are now even a Alangery group of companies. Because through that period, I got into places I would have never entered. I met people I would have never met. And it's added to our profile.
And I'm sure when she eventually got the final piece, she was happy.
She was so happy. Even till today, she calls me. I even owe her a visit. I remember around 25th, I was out of the country. She called me, Abel, you want to say, you know, I need to go and see her. I'll go and see her, God willing, this Sunday.
And I'm sure if she's watching this interview, it'll be the first time she's hearing.
Yes.
That this is actually what
I
happened.
never told her what happened. You know, I learned early enough not to always tell clients everything. For instance, I don't even tell my clients my age. Because one time I was working with this client that I really admire, and she took me like a brother. So one day I told her my age and she started treating me like a younger brother.
Oh.
So I learned it that no, some people, business is business. Yeah. Your age doesn't matter. Just make sure you meet up to the expectations, and that's it. And you know, it was that period of my life that God gave me that principle of life to always inspect what you expect. So to date, I always inspect what I expect. Even no matter how I trust you, if I send you to the bank and I've not received an alert, I'll say, please show me the receipt. Just to be sure. And if you go angry and you say, oh, why don't you trust me? I know. You don't tell me to trust you. Prove to me. Yeah. Show me give me reasons to trust you. Don't tell me, because I've trusted a lot of people and they betrayed me.
It goes to tell how diligent you are about your work that goes out.
I learned that from my dad. I picked that, like I told you, you know, my mom and my dad played specific certain roles in my life. My mom taught me how to appear. You know, where we're living close to the castle. It is a ghetto, it's a slum. But around that period of my life, when my mom washes my clothes, I had about 7 uniforms. I had about 10 socks. When my mom washes my socks, my uniforms, people marvel. Even around that period, she even bought me a morning coat. In our area, nobody wears a morning coat.
Swag.
With the exception of, I think, me and another guy, Nana Sam, who was even attending Morning Star. So my mom gave me that look and that ideology that you always have to look like where you are going, not where you are coming from. So even though I was from Osu Anoho, that place is a ghetto, but I never looked like them. I never spoke like them. I never did things like them. And with my dad taught me truth. I remember one time, my dad was working with EcoBank, and every year they give coupons to their children. And my dad told me that most of his friends, they backdated the age of their children so that they can enjoy
for longer.
But my dad said, no, it's not right. So I picked those virtues from my dad. My dad always spoke the truth. So I knew before I entered business that I want to make it right and I'm not cutting corners. Because Archbishop always says something, that the shortcut will always cut your life short. So I learned it the hard way. Yeah. So I did it. I did it again, and God being so good, we met all our expectations. All the monies we used, we delivered and they paid, and we started afresh. Yeah, we started afresh.
For me, what drew me to you was when you did my bracelet.
Wow.
Yes. When you started working on it, you gave me a time. Then you called. Then you're like, you wanted to do it this way. However, you feel you want to do it in another way. So I should give you time. And I even honestly, I forgot about it.
Wow.
Because I'm so busy.
Wow.
So when you called and you're like, oh, it's ready, come and have a look at it. I saw it and I marveled. It looked so good and you had the charms on right and everything.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, okay, this is a place I would want to come to.
Yeah.
That is why I'm always coming back to you. Because when you say this is it, it's what it is.
Yeah.
And a few friends who have come to you have said the same thing.
True.
So it means you're doing something right.
True.
And I would say don't stop that. Transparency is key, because
so much.
if anybody is giving you money, even before the work is done, it means they have trusted you enough to do that.
Oh,
For
God.
everyone on social media, we know you as the guy who makes people look good with their jewelry. But there are times we get on your page and bro is on fire for Christ. You're preaching like... The first day I saw it, I was like, okay, hold on. He's so on fire for Christ. Tell me about ministry. Have you started a ministry, or you're just using your platform to let people know how good God is?
That's a good question, but it's something we have to really take time to talk about. But let me just brush on the surface. I'm in ministry. As a matter of fact, I was ordained by the Archbishop. Yes, I'm ordained. I'm an ordained Reverend Minister. I was licensed around 2015.
Wow.
Yes, I'm ordained, but I try as much as I can not to let most of my clients know I'm into ministry, because over the 15 years I've been in business, I realized that Ghanaians typically are not God-fearing. There are people that I made rings for that didn't pay till date. And when I try to get them, and they say, Osofo na uda in kasa.
No Osofo need it.
So I realized that Ghanaians are not God-fearing.
Yeah.
So if, for instance, they owe you and they owe an unbeliever, they will pay the unbeliever and leave you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, but when it comes to the things of God, it is like pregnancy. You can't hide it.
Yeah.
You can cover it, but it gets to a time, it will show. I have a ministry, Privilege Worship Center. We are currently in Achimota. I've been in ministry for over 10 years.
How do you combine it? Being a minister and your business?
That's the same thing I told God when, at a point when it started and people were coming, I was running away. I said, God, I don't want to be a pastor. I didn't
ask for this.
I said, I remember one time I went to God and I was praying. I said, God, I wanted to just do business and support the church. I just wanted to support. I don't want to be the main person. So it got to a point, whenever we are meeting, especially when I relocated from Osu to Dansoman, when it's time to go for fellowship, I didn't go. Because I was running away. I told Julian to go, to lead them. I said, God, now that I'm out of Osu, this ministry thing is over. I want to do business.
I want to focus.
Every time they were having service, I will feel uncomfortable. I will be burdened. I can't do anything. I lose my peace. And I told God one time that, how can I merge business with ministry? And I remember what he told me. He said, just read and pray. And that's all I've been doing. I just read and I pray. And there was this funny story that happened, which also authenticated my call. I remember one day I was fasting and I went to do business. Frankie's then had a branch at the mall. So I went there, and that day I was fasting, but the manager, Akim, is my friend, gave me pizza. But because I was fasting, I couldn't eat the pizza, but it was like 3 hours to break the fast. I said, okay, I'll carry it. So that after 6, I break and eat it. And I got to National Theatre. When I got there, I was from the National Theatre walking to Tema Station to pick a car. And I saw a man, not knowing they were confident tricksters. They were people that scam people. Like they use supernatural powers or black powers to rob people. So they pretended like one was asking for direction. That he was trying to locate or find his way to lotteries. So they stopped me. So as I was trying to show them the way that leads to lotteries, from nowhere, one of them came back and hit my head. Hit my head like this. When he hit my head, honestly, I wouldn't say I blacked out, but I lost sense of myself. I was holding the pizza and everything, but in a matter of seconds, I regained consciousness and I started moving away from them. Because it was strange how he just came in, hit me. So I started moving away from them, and a man moved to me and said, she said, Ubibia Wana. She said, Ubibia Wana. So I put my hands in my pocket, my money was intact, my phone was intact, my bag with some jewelries and the pizza. And he said, yes, maybe yawo. He said, hey, sanomu yawo, amu di omusa kawa, Ubibia Beira. So I realized that the guy was following me still. I don't know whether he was coming to hit me another round. But I was walking fast, and as he was following me, he said, hey, who you why? Hey, who you why? Who you why? And he crossed the road, and he ran away. I didn't understand it. But when I got home, I said, God, thank you for what you delivered me from. And how they touched me and nothing escaped. That was when I realized, no, if they touched me and others lost valuables, vanished, and it didn't happen, then I'm carrying divine presence. So that gave me the consciousness that I'm not ordinary. God has really helped me.
And I know we will come back to have another conversation with you.
I'll be very glad.
Because I see bigger things. I see greater things.
Amen.
And it's not going to be a Ghana brand. I see a global brand.
You are in the spirit.
Yes, I see. And it's not in 5 years, in 4 years. It's coming.
Father,
it's a global brand.
Amen.
And you're going to go to Times Square and see the brand all over those screens.
We fast
Trust
forward
me
it.
on that.
I believe it.
Because you're meticulous with your work. And you have the fear of God. So that will take you places.
Thank you so much, Stacey.
So thank you for coming.
I
know I grabbed you when you least expected,
yes,
but before I let go of you, you have to pick a card from my sponsor.
Okay.
Yes. So let's see what card you pick. Okay. Thank you for coming. You take home a Hisense Bluetooth speaker.
Hey, thank you.
Did you need that? The way he said, hey!
I love appliances. I love appliances.
So this is from Hisense to you.
Wow. Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Stacey.
And I can hear the sound in the
you know, I'm gonna make a lot of noise in my house, you know.
Okay, so before you go, I have a little game from Tasty Talk. So I'm going to give you so many sachets, and I'm going to count to 10. So if I count to 10, the number that you've been able to tear off, you get to keep all of that.
Wow.
So let me know when you're ready. Are you ready?
So I should just...
Yeah.
Okay, where do I put it? I just got it. Put it
anywhere you put it.
Okay, let's go.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I love this game. So how many do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They're supposed to be in singles.
Singles.
I saw a double.
Okay, then I think I got 6.
You got 6. Okay,
Yeah,
so you've done well.
The number of man.
Okay, so you have 6 packs there.
It's also packed? Oh, okay. I got 7.
So you got 7.
7.
Okay, that's another powerful number. So congratulations.
Yes, thanks so much.
And thank you very much for
It's
coming.
a privilege.
A big thank you to our sponsors, Malta Guinness, Tasty Tom, Hisense, Yas Washing Powder, and Yas Sanitary Pad, Hooch Corn and Choco Flakes, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Tiwazi Apartments, Teflon Suite, and of course to my glam team, ABS Lax Line, Hair Duty, Stars Hair, and Tinaj Beauty. Saying a very big thank you to all of you. I know you have enjoyed the story and you are inspired. Always do remember this. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. I'll see you next week.